All right, this is going to be the Christmas present for my parents this year. It was supposed to be last year's gift, but I got sick. So I have here the King of the Forest. As you can see, he has the head of the Cowardly Lion, but I put him on the body of Cocoam from Pocahontas, so that way he has the tattoos. And I cut these antlers off of an ornament and jabbed them into his head and glued them in place. He has gold and copper flakes adhered to his chest and arms. He has beads braided into his beard. And then down here, I did not have the time to do digigrade legs, so he's just regular Ken legs, but they are covered in hair wefts and air dry clay molded deer hooves to the best of my ability. Regular doll stand that I painted and covered in diorama grass. I bought the pouch. I did not have time to make it, but I would have if I did. And then he is on the arm of the Queen of the Fairies. And this is for my mom. This is a Mal doll from the Disney Descendants. My mom loves purple, so that saved me on having to try to reroute or make a wig. So here, let's take the staff down for a second and scoot these two lovebirds for just a moment. Okay. So her outfit consists of a blue linen scarf that I literally just hacked a corner off of, wrapped it around her body. The purple stripe material, along with this black netting, actually came from a tank top. It's all one piece. My tank top had this butterfly netting design on the front, and then it was black and purple striped, but it kind of got a few little holes in it, and I couldn't wear it anymore. So I just wrapped that around, also sewed it in place. This is just a regular little ribbon with multicolored of blue and purple. I just tied and knotted. Just a little fairy charm hanging down, and then from purple ribbon we have this blue glass charm. She has silver flakes on her arms and her feet, along with a little smudging of green paint. Try to give her like fantasy freckles, because her color scheme was blue, purple, and green. His is obviously warm colors, browns, red, gold. I made her a garland with some beads. Once I tied her hair in place with elastic, I had some green twine, wrapped that around until it was tight enough. Then I glued it using an Elmer wash and water glue mixture, and when that hardened, I cut off the knot and then glued a little butterfly to the top. Glued a butterfly to her chest, and then I glued one down here at her base. Since she is shorter and this is a doll stand meant for Barbie, I actually just built up her stand with some clay and then tried to like get some feet impression so she would sit in it perfectly. This is a Model Muse doll stand, so she kind of stands on it a little wonky. Of course, her wings was this big acrylic, like a wall hanging piece that I guess you put outside a decorative art piece. And it had, of course, more of a body attached to it then, so I had to have my father-in-law help. He had the tools to trim off the head and the tail, round it down, screw a hole, because there was already a hole in the butterfly, screw a hole in her back so that way I could use the screw to put it in, and that way it is adhered. All these gems came from the makeup set that I bought for Halloween because my daughter wanted to be a dragon. These were just sticky face jewels. I knew the adhesive wouldn't stay, so I used some E6000 and some tiny crystals, and then of course some silver flakes. The silver flakes was first, and then I started gluing gems on. Then I heated up a needle stuck in her ear. That way I could put in a pair of earrings that I actually used to wear a lot when I was younger. Just a blue teardrop. When I really didn't have any specific item in mind, those were my like go-tos, but I don't wear earrings hardly anymore. And so I figured they were perfect with their size, their shape, their coloring, everything. Yes, her dress has just one sleeve. I managed to get the material to fold over, and then it's, so it's asymmetrical, it's wild, it's butterfly-ish, but, there's just no rhyme or reason to it. Alright, then I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the staff here. So, I found this twisty little stick outside, and I was like, oh, that would make a great staff. So, the crescent moon with the bauble is a necklace charm, but the original bauble had silver glitter, so I removed that, and I got this new one at Hobby Lobby that has purple little flower flakes, I guess. So I capped it off with this bead, but I didn't like how blunt-ended it was, and it kind of felt like it needed something, so I used the last bead. I have 4 of those, so that one, and then the other one is down here, and then the other 2 are in her wreath. So I utilized all 4 of those beads. Did some silver leaf up at the top after I had already taken some embroidery thread. I had green and purple, and just wove it around to, make the handhold. And then at the end I just grabbed some random beads of blues, greens, and just did that. I might trim off a little bit of this. I thought about doing the rest of the stem in gold leaf, but I am just so pressed for time. I was sick, so it already held me back, and every day has just been an adventure in doll crafting, especially when you're making 2 dolls at once. And this is the first time I've ever done hair wefts with yarn. I've ever done hair wefts at all. So I didn't realize how harrowing it was to brush them out. And then I didn't have a flat iron, so I grabbed the regular clothing iron, which is actually over here, right there. And I just laid it down here, and I would just iron them out. And then, of course, the whole gluing thing. And I have glue all over my fingers. I've been getting little hairs stuck to me, and I have a real texture issue when it comes to hair, so I'm all just like, yeah. If I failed to talk about his antlers, the decorative pieces here, green embroidery thread, some flower beads, 1 little monarch butterfly, just so that way, it looks like he literally walks around wearing nature. He's got some yarn tied here to his arm and his wrist. This is just a tooth-shaped charm, kind of like the drinking horn or the calling horn for the hunt, because it just fit perfectly right there on his exposed thumb. I felt like I didn't really need to do anything else, which saved me time and energy. And I can't wait to share this with my parents and then share their reactions with you guys. Hold on, there's one last thing. Not only will my parents get a 3-dimensional piece of one-of-a-kind art, they will also get a 2-dimensional, which first started out as a concept sketch and then worked its way into a real-life finished project. So as you can see, I use several mediums. I have watercolor pencil, ink pen, marker, and I was literally sitting cross-legged on my bed drawing this late at night. So I was just trying to get it all done. So I tried capturing all the details. Of course, I did finish parts of the drawing before going in and finishing the doll, so that's why the butterflies aren't added onto her. But for the most part, and I realize, he's holding it in the other hand, but it is what it is, and I'm fine and happy with it because, oh my God, these are beautiful and frame worthy.